Okay. So our next guest has been on the show before. It's been a minute or so. But also this episode of Black Authors Matter TV is sponsored by author um, Sherman Dumas. I keep wanting to say Stephen, and he has a new book out called Family Matters. So we appreciate his sponsorship. And Angela was on the show before. She's a podcaster herself, and she also has a new book out. So she's going to tell us about both of those things. And if you're on Facebook, I don't know if she does it on Instagram or not, but she'll post her conversations with different people when she has those. And I don't know how often she does that. So we'll find out all that. Um, and Angela, welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to hang out with you guys. Hey, Rhonda, and congratulations to you.
So much. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Thank you.
So your podcast is called
Angela's Literary Cafe.
okay,
Gwen, you know
and
I am a bookish girly through and through, so you know it
yes,
has something to do with books.
yes. So, how often do you do? Is it scheduled or do you do interviews and then post them just
Oh, they're
whenever?
live. They are all the
Oh,
way
you're
live. They
live.
are
Okay, you're live. You're
they
live
are
too.
live. It's
Okay,
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
okay.
then sometimes we'll do a Saturday interview as well.
Oh, okay. So is it 30 minutes or an hour?
It is 30 minutes. Yep, it's 30 minutes per author.
Okay. So you do just one author on Tuesday and Thursday. Is that what you do?
Yes, for the most part, it's one author, but every now and then, like a couple of weeks ago, I had there was an anthology, so I had a group of authors there. Sometimes, if there is an anthology or there is a group project, fiction project, I may have multiple authors on there. Or if I have a special show or what have you, then there may be multiple authors as well. But the normal shows is just one author to spotlight their book, whether it's a new release, whether it's a book that recently released, or it can be something that is from their catalog, or if there's a special time like audiobook month or something like that, as well.
So how long have you been doing your podcast?
Wow. It's been a little about 5 years. It literally went live as far as virtually right around that pandemic time, so around 2020. But prior to that, it was actually in-person literary cafe events. But the virtual, it has just been a winner. Again, it's a way to bring authors and readers together. I have international authors who joined the show. I have tons of authors that have visited that they're actually in the UK. I've had an author that she lives in Africa. So of course, we have to coordinate the time zones and stuff like that. So I guess we can say the Literary Cafe is internationally known.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now
I love
where
that you're getting international people on the show because I've been finding out. I mean, since I've gotten into the podcasting game, that a lot of our international readers love reading American fiction and African American
Yeah.
specifically.
They do. They do. I think a couple of weeks ago, Tammy Hoof, she came out with her book Inharmonious, and she was at the Literary Cafe. And if you guys have not read, I don't know if you guys enjoy historical fiction like the way that I do, but that book is a dear, it's a 10. I absolutely love that book by Tammy Hoof. And so she was on the Literary Cafe. And a lot of times when I have the international authors, a lot of times that those interviews will be earlier in the day, like around 1 o'clock or what have you, because of course you know that they are a couple of hours ahead of us, or what have you. So at 7 o'clock, it's kind of like later evening for them. So usually around 1 o'clock is like that sweet spot to do those types of interviews.
okay, now what's the last name of the person you said, Tammy?
Tammy Hoof,
Can you spell it for me?
Tamy, and then her last name is Huff. I think it's two F's in there.
Oh, so it's Huff, but it's pronounced Huff.
It's pronounced Hoof, and she just had a historical fiction book to come out in February. It's called Inhumanious, and it is absolutely amazing. It's a World War II. It's basically from that Black experience of those soldiers fighting in World War II. It's just an amazing, amazing story. I absolutely love it. And believe it or not, Gwen and Rhonda, I still have a book hangover from that book.
Oh, okay. Well, historical fiction is my favorite genre. So
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about this one. I thought I
Oh
knew.
yeah.
I thought I was on top of all of them like 6 months before they come out. So this one got past me. I have to look it up and see. So it's
Yeah.
World War II, a set time frame.
Mhm.
And does it go past that, or is it all in that
No, it's pretty much in that whole
in the
vein of
40s?
World War II. Yeah, but when you
Okay.
read it, it absolutely makes sense as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love it from any era, really.
Okay.
There's not an era that I don't like. And my favorite era is pre Civil War.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
my favorite. If somebody can write, if somebody's a good writer and they can write a book about the era before the Civil War for Black people, not everyone can do it, but
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
can do it, that's it. I've read some amazing work from that era.
Yeah.
That's so. I'm with you on that. We're kindred spirits with the historical fiction. Mystery thriller is my next one.
Oh,
My number
oh,
two.
Gwen, you speak in my
O-
language. I love a
Okay.
good mystery thriller. I even like psychological thrillers. I am an eclectic reader through and through, literally.
Okay. Yeah, those are my main. Now I'll read with this women's fiction or regular fiction. I
I
don't.
like women's fiction. I'm not a huge fan, believe it. I know I
What?
just wrote a rom-com, but my rom-com is a little different. I don't like the formulaic romance. I'm not
Hmm.
really.
Okay. Now, Rhonda, did you say you don't like women's fiction or you don't read it a lot?
I read women's fiction. I like
Okay.
women's fiction. I'm not a big fan of straight romance books.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay,
Hmm.
gotcha. So you like
And I'm
women's
I'm there
fiction.
too.
Yeah,
That's
I like
not
women's
my
fiction. I
thing
like
either.
I like the story. I don't like women's. I don't like romance. Like the
Oh.
formula, the
Yeah, the
formulaic.
formula. Because it's all the same plot almost. I
Right.
mean, to me, I need
They
more.
hate each other.
What makes it
They hate
romance?
each other.
That happily ever after, or is it
Yes.
that happily ever after for now?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love a good romance too, and then of course, I love romantic suspense. I love a
Yeah.
rom-com. So, like I said, I'm just an eclectic reader. Give me a good story, as well. Women's fiction. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you guys read Vanessa Miller's the Light on Halsey Street. Oh my goodness. Now that women's
Okay.
fiction, Rhonda. Oh my goodness. If you have not read Vanessa Miller, The Light on Halsey Street, that's the one that took place in Bedside, New York. Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Okay. I
That
haven't
story is
read that.
amazing.
I've read several of her other books, like her last two, The African Queen, or The American Queen, and
Uh-huh.
The Filling Station.
What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is
I
I
read
love
those.
how we talk about books the way some people talk about movies. I think
Yeah.
Mhm.
the way we've got to talk about books. Because people talk about movies. Oh, you got to see it. You see it all the time on Facebook. Oh, like Beauty in Black. Don't get me wrong. I watched Beauty in Black.
Okay.
I enjoyed Beauty in Black. But
Mhm.
people were talking about Beauty in Black and making people actually want to watch Beauty in Black. But
Yeah.
people don't talk about books enough. The way they
Mm-hmm.
talk about these TV shows and the way they
Mm-hmm.
talk about movies. If I was talking about this, I was interviewed on a podcast last week, and I was talking about waiting to exhale. If you remember waiting to exhale, everybody was talking about waiting to exhale, not the movie,
Yes.
but the book.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch Rock, if you remember Rock, with Charles S. Dutton back in the day, there was an episode where his wife was sitting on the sofa reading, waiting to exhale, and she was reading, and she goes, "No, she didn't," and then she turned the page. Yes, she did. And I was just watching um oh my goodness, I'm having a brain fart. What was the college TV show we all used to watch?
Oh, Different
Different
World.
world?
Yes, A Different World. I was watching A Different World just last night. And there was an episode where they all had like a book club meeting and they were all reading Waiting to Exhale. Waiting to Exhale
Wow.
they had product placement out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody was
That's
reading
true.
Waiting to Exhale. we don't really see that type of product placement with books as much as we used to anymore. And if we started promoting our books like that, the way we used to, promote Terry McMillan back in the day, I mean, books would just really take off. But we're not talking about, we talk about them in our book communities.
In the bookish community, yeah.
For culture, the way we do with TV shows and movies, there would be a lot more up and coming authors who would get a lot more play. But right now, we only talk about the popular authors. I love Kennedy Ryan. Believe me, I read her books. I love Vanessa and I love all of the people. But we talk about the popular authors a lot, but we don't talk about the up and coming authors and give them that push the way we do with the popular books.
Yeah, it seems like there's like a list of a few. Back when you're talking about the different world and those things, there was a list of one.
But getting a lot of play. But that's my point. I'm not saying it was wrong with what we did back in the day. I'm just saying I would love to bring that back. How we talked about books, how we gave that placement to books. And it would be lovely to see the way we got behind those books, how we made that book so popular. That was the reason they made that book into a movie, is because of how popular we made that book.
Yeah, I wonder if they. I'm sure that they paid for that. I don't think it was like a spontaneous thing, because the people who make the shows, they probably wouldn't allow something to get exposure like that unless they were paid. You know what I mean?
And one of the things that I say, Gwen and Rhonda, for most people who know me or around me, I was like, one thing about me, I'm going to talk about books. I'm literally going to talk about books. And one of the things that I enjoy about the Literary Cafe is that and I'm glad that Rhonda mentioned that. I have indie authors on my show, as well as traditionally published authors. I have authors that this is their debut book on my show, as well as authors that have been out, for a long time, as well. And there have been some amazing authors that people may not hear about a lot, like Olivia Shaw Real. Oh my goodness, she has a book that I absolutely love. Natasha D. Frazier, she has some amazing books that I enjoy as well. So there are a lot of authors that they have come to my show and have been on my show multiple times talking about their books. So I'm glad that Rhonda did mention that I like to also give those individuals, a spotlight on my show. And of course, when I read their books, I definitely talk about their books as well, which you guys are probably familiar with. Lerna Lewis, her book, which was an NAACP nominated book, Sky Full of Love.
Yes, she was on.
For me, guys, that was my book of 2025. That was like my top book of 2025. That book is amazing. I still have a book hangover. She literally came to the cafe and did a book discussion, but that book is amazing.
The book hangover, that's
the word of the day. A book. If a book can give me a book hangover, I'm in there. And the other word that I use a lot, Rhonda and Gwen, which you guys may be familiar with this, but in my bookish community, we be like, that book is a deer. It is a drop everything and read. And of course, A Sky Full of Love is definitely a deer. It's a drop everything and read. And whenever I'm telling people about it, I started with the premise. I was like, what would you do, if you was missing for 15 years, kidnapped, only to be found, and your sister has married your husband. Hey, think of that. I was like,
we read it. Our book club read it, and I was like,
I'm gonna have to go to work.
So have you read it? Have you read that one, Rhonda?
I have not, but it's on my list.
Okay,
Rhonda, Rhonda, I behoove you to push it up on your TBR.
Yeah, push it closer to like the next month's worth of reading, because it's worth reading. But I could never get past the sister that couldn't find somebody else except you couldn't find somebody else to marry except your sister's husband. I don't care if you thought she was dead. It's just the idea. It's just, I mean, of all the men in the world, you could have hooked up with, you decide to hook up. And this is early. This happens in the beginning of the book. So we're not giving a spoiler, Rhonda.
Gwen,
This is
but
early
Gwen,
on.
if you and Rhonda, if you are familiar with Lerna Lewis's work, even when she was writing under L.A. Lewis,
Yeah.
she is the queen of those morally gray areas. I mean, she be
Oh,
touching.
okay.
She has a book under L.A. Lewis called Torn. Oh my goodness. And the daughter has to decide which parent gets her kidney. I mean, you only can donate one kidney. So literally, when I say she is the queen of those morally gray areas, like what would you do? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So when she came out with this book on a Lerner Lewis, I was like, yeah, that is her signature.
Yeah, I asked her what made her think of the storyline, and it wasn't that I thought it was based on, the girl in Ohio that was
Mhm.
missing and somebody had her in the basement. And she said no, she thought about it was because her mom passed away.
Yeah.
And, she was thinking, what if we thought she had passed away and then she showed up, years later. And, the situation with somebody, her dad might have remarried or whatever, but
Mhm.
I thought it was based on the girl in Ohio that was kidnapped and in a basement for 10 or 15
Mhm.
years. But it was kind of similar, but she did a very good job of telling that story.
Yes.
It's well worth reading. So,
But Rhonda, when you read it, Rhonda, you're gonna have to hit me up in the DMs and let me and Gwen know that you're reading it.
yes, you will. Now, somebody, the social book club, she wanted to know what book again. So, Rhonda, you're better at putting it because I have to do it on my phone if I do it. Do you know the name of the book? It's a sky. Well, let me just go ahead and tell
A
you.
Sky Full
It's
of
a
Love.
sky full of love.
By Lerner Lewis.
A sky full of love.
Yep.
Okay, and it really is a really great story, and it got nominated,
For
but
NAACP award.
but I think that category was it in debut novel category.
I cannot remember what category she was
Because the
in.
person, I think, yeah, I think it was
Mhm.
even because it was a debut novel for
Mhm.
her under Lorna Lewis.
Yes.
But the person who won was a guest on the show too. So it
Okay.
was Charles Fancher. I haven't read his book yet. I have it. It's called
Uh-huh.
Red Clay, and it's historical. It's
Mhm.
historical fiction. And if somebody writes a book that's historical fiction, I am most likely going to buy it just on the principle of it being
So you
historical
are a
fiction.
historical fiction
I
girly.
may
Oh my
not read
goodness.
it. I may not even get to it. It might be 2 years before I get to it. But I'm very likely to purchase it because
Yeah.
I've never read a bad historical fiction book.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Normally when people write historical fiction, they're taking care because they have to get facts and they have to go back in time and they have to
Yeah.
create the scenes from the past. And I've never read one that was bad. And I've read some that are great and some that are good. And
Hmm.
some that are just okay, but I've never read one that was a bad book.
Yeah.
Well, I don't read bad books to the end. So I just don't.
Well, Gwen, let me
I
ask
don't.
you this because you're
Well,
saying that you are a historical fiction girly. Do
yes.
you love the ones that I call it edutainment, the ones that educate you and they also entertain you at the same time, like Harlem Rhapsody. That book was edutainment. That for me, and then the one what for the From the Love of Harlem by Rashana Tate, that was edutainment. I love those ones that educate and they entertain and they make you want to go and find out more information. Is that you too with historical fiction, or you
No, you
just
know
enjoy
what?
historical
I'm
fiction?
more into the characters. I'm more
Mm-hmm.
into how well the main characters are developed and the
Mm.
dialogue.
Good character
Um,
development. I'm with you on that one.
yeah, and now I have read With Love from Harlem, but I
With Love
haven't.
from
I
Harlem, yeah.
have Harlem Rhapsody, but I haven't read it yet. But
Okay.
it's on my it's part of my group that I'm planning to read. Have you read Zeal by Verlin Jerkins?
No,
I heard
tell
that
me
was
about it.
good. I haven't read it. It's in my
Oh,
list. I'm telling you, every historical fiction that comes out, if it's by a black author, then let me preface it that.
very
I'm
quick.
most likely gonna buy it.
We got 5 minutes left. For Angela, don't you have a book?
It's not like Greta's gonna buy the book. She'll get to it. She will get to it, but she's gonna buy
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna buy. If it's historical fiction, I'm gonna buy it.
I
It's
love it.
90% that I'm gonna purchase the book, not the Kindle, because I don't read. I don't read on my Kindle anymore. I just
Really?
prefer. I prefer a physical book.
Yeah,
I had the Kindle for a while.
audiobook. I can't read. I've been trying to read the books on my phone. I can't concentrate on my phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
To
well,
me, the
let me ask
Kindle's
$1 million
right
question.
me like
Does
this.
Gwen and
Because
Rhonda, do y'all do audiobooks?
Yes, I'm
Rhonda
an
loves audiobooks.
audiobook girly. I'm
She
an
is.
audiobook girly. I have to do audiobooks because that's the only time I really have time to read because I'm always working when I'm home. I'm on a
Okay.
podcast twice a week. I get interviewed for podcasts twice a week. So and then I have books I gotta edit, and then I have work I gotta do. I got AI consultations. I don't really have time to sit down and read. So I have to listen to books as I'm driving somewhere. So I do a lot of audio books. So
Yeah.
I try to sit down and read. It's just hard. And then when I get
I
my
enjoy
nails
your
done,
audiobook
try
too.
yeah, when I get my nails done, I try to I read my ebooks. But that's not
Okay.
I try to read an ebook, but it's hard to concentrate reading my ebooks.
Yeah, see,
So, Rhonda, do
I
you
told
purchase your hardcover books or not hardcover or your print copy books? Do you get those with the autographs? But mainly you listen to audiobooks and your Kindle when you're busy?
Yeah, most of the time, if I have a print copy book, a paperback book, is because it's an autograph book.
Gotcha. What about you, Gwen?
as Rhonda knows, I'm not into the audiobook thing yet. I tried to read one audiobook and all I did was fall asleep every time every time the voice would just lull me to sleep. And maybe it was the book, I don't know. I think I don't know if I can listen to a book and get the same
Gwen, and I don't know if Rhonda has listened to these two audiobooks. Judge Stone is, of course, is by Viola Davis and James Patterson, but she did the audiobook.
Yeah,
I loved it. And then If I Rule the World, that book in audio, oh my goodness. So you have to have the right narrator, but those two books in audio was just like amazing.
I'm listening to Judge Stone now. That's
okay.
Judge Stone, I was like edge of my seat I'm talking to the audiobook, like they can hear me talking, or what have you. And I love those books where I'm literally like, like the audiobook can hear me when I'm having a conversation with them. But yeah, Judge Stone was amazing to listen to in audio.
That was really good. You have to read Judge Stone.
Okay. I've been seeing that book online and I can't figure out what it is. Like, is it a novel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a novel. It's a novel.
So Viola Davis is writing now?
A collaboration between Viola Davis and James Patterson.
And then Viola Davis does the audio.
Oh, okay. I've been seeing it, but I didn't know exactly what genre is it?
It is courtroom drama, courtroom thriller.
Yeah, courtroom drama.
Okay. All right. Well,
no, Angela, don't you have a book? We got
you have a book. And so why did you have a copy of your book?
You get me to talking about books. Look, that's all you have to say is something about books, and I'm talking about books. But yes, I have 2 books now.
Okay. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So tell us about your book.
Well, if you guys remember, 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, I came out with the first book, which was The Power of I Am. It's a 21-day affirming you. And so over time, people started asking, like, hey, can I write in the book? Can I journal in the book or what have you? So I often tell people, I was like, you asked, I listened, and now it's here. And I came out with the workbook and journal that goes along with it. And so basically, one of the things that I say on the back of the book is I was like, you've poured into everybody else, now is your turn, because so much of us as women, we work on from an empty cup, and we're like running on fumes or what have you. So I wanted women, particularly anybody can read the book, but especially women, I wanted them to have a safe space, to kind of take the time to pour back into themselves, because I often say you can't pour from an empty cup. And so pretty much it's like the Power of I Am workbook and journal. It's your invitation to pause, reflect, and reclaim your voice. Over 21 days, you are engaged with daily quotes, affirmations, and a guided prompt that help you inward refill what's been empty and rise to the occasion of showing up for yourself. And I make sure that I let them know, Rhonda and Gwen, that this is not just your ordinary workbook. It's a mirror, it's a movement, it's a bold declaration.
Now, you are all about books and being bookish, but the book that you wrote is more of a motivational book.
Yep,
So
I did
what made
nonfiction.
you go into that lane? What led you in that direction?
Well, if anybody follows me on social media, I am all about being positive. I'm all about being in a positive space. I'm all about pouring into yourself. I'm about self-care. I'm about, just being an inspiration to other people. And so when it was my turn to do a book, I went the nonfiction route. And of course, the Power of I Am came to me first, about affirmations and the importance of your words, and speaking life, and those types of things. So that's how I kind of went into the nonfiction segment of, or genre, what have you, instead of going into fiction. Even though I love to read fiction, but nonfiction right now is my lane.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
see that's me. Well, I wrote 2 novels, but my books, well, then I have 6 children's books, which are somewhat
Oh,
fiction.
wow.
Yeah, I have 6 children's books. They're somewhat fiction, but not really, because um, my passion is business. So my children's books are about that. So
Okay.
it's how, learning how Kids Biz is a series of 5 books where children, they learn how to earn money for things they want. And then I
Okay.
have a book called Boss Women, which is actually 7 biographies of Black women who started their businesses from the ground up. But it's a
Wow.
children's book. So, and it has some names you might know, but what industry related. For example, the Honey Pot founder is part of that book, as well as
Wow.
the woman who did Camille Rose Naturals. So it actually, I get a lot of adult women getting motivated by reading that book. I wrote it as a children's book, but it tells the story of how each person got started and built,
Wow.
but it does it in rhyming form. So it was my first and only book that I did rhyming in. Uh,
Wow.
and I wasn't sure I could do it. And with the help of, Googling what rhymes with house, which words rhyme with house, then so you end up finding the words and putting it together. So then I have other books that are nonfiction. I'm working on a book right now that I hope to have out by June or July. So
Okay.
it's about planning a book event. So that's not the title,
Oh,
but it's a how
and
to on planning a
and
book event.
Gwen, and I know you and Rhonda are familiar with that, because you guys have your event that you do every year as well. That's a whole segment in itself, the behind the
Mhm.
scenes of book events.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I'm about 2/3 done. So I'm on track to finish it by June or July. And then I might have one other book I release later in the year, but it's not going to be fiction either. Fiction, both of my novels took me 5 years each to write. And so it takes me a long time to write fiction.
Okay.
I have to, you have to create these people, and it's and the story has to move. You have arcs. It has so many parts. With nonfiction, you take a topic. Your chapters are really your outline, and
Hmm.
then you research or you do anecdotes, and it moves the story. It moves
Yeah.
itself. Whereas, and some people say that about writing fiction. They're really good at it. Rhonda's novella was very good that she did her holiday novella. I
Go,
enjoyed it.
Rhonda.
Mhm. And she just got the award for it. So I enjoyed it. And I really don't read novellas, but that one was, and you know what? When I was
Really?
reading it, Rhonda, I could hear your voice in some of the dialogue. Like I said, this is what
Gwen,
Rhonda would
look,
say.
Rhonda, I'm like, wait a minute, Gwen, first of all, you don't write novellas? What's wrong with
Yeah, I
novella?
like a full-blown novel. I
I,
like
I
a
write
full-blown story.
but this
Gwen,
Too long.
well, never mind, because you said you don't really do romance. You don't like romance
No,
books, do
no,
you?
no,
Okay,
no.
never mind.
I
I was
want a
about to tell you
250
about Rhonda
page
McKnight's.
plus. That's what I want.
I was going to tell you about Rhonda McKnight's. She has a billionaire series, and they are novellas, but they are like edge of your seat. That's something you don't do
No,
novellas.
I like a story, a
Full
full
story. Gotcha.
250 pages plus.
it
Gotcha.
depends because this was supposed to just be a holiday story, and I wanted to keep it short.
Okay.
So, but yeah, some of my older work is longer,
No.
and when I get ready to write my next fiction, that one's going to be longer. But
Mhm.
it was only supposed to be a holiday story, so I said I was going to write it shorter. And actually, it wound up being longer than I planned for it to be.
Now,
Well,
Rhonda,
and
I was
plus,
going to ask you about that because you said that this one was a novella. Did you find that it was that it's easier for you to write a full length versus a novella? Like, do you feel like there's a constraint with you when you're writing a novella?
Well, for me, because I'm a description person, sometimes yes.
Mhm.
Because I want to spend more time sometimes with the characters. That's why this book wound up being longer. Because,
Gotcha.
when I got ready to write this book, I said it's only going to be 25,000 words.
Mhm.
okay, yeah. Yeah,
I
you can
went
start
into
with the
it, I just
word
said
count limit.
it's only going to be 25,000 words. It was going to be a short novella. And because I said, I'm only going to write this, it's only going to take me a month to write this. I'm going to get this done. And then I started spending time. I was enjoying writing the story, and I wound up going over my limit.
Yeah,
And
but
Well,
the
my
story
I
that
found
you
out a
told,
lot about you and Gwen and your and your bookish girly things.
oh, okay. Well, Ron, the surprise swipe, is it swipe left or right? Which one
right,
is
you
it?
don't like left. That means you don't like the person.
Okay, well, anyway, I couldn't remember if it was left or right, but I wouldn't know because I don't go on dating apps and I only hear about it. You know, I've never been on a dating app ever. I mean, why would I? But unless it was out of curiosity. But your book, it's not, even though you wrote it as a holiday story, it could have happened anytime.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
What happened
that's the
could
reason why I still continue to promote it because
Mhm,
it's a good story no matter when you're
mhm.
reading. It just happens
Okay.
to take place around the holidays.
Yeah, or it
Hmm.
could be, well, this is maybe for the future. It could have been like up to Valentine's Day and like ended with
Yeah,
Valentine's Day being the culmination.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. So, but it was a good story, and it kept me turning pages, and I've got the actual book, and like I said, it was several parts of the dialogue. I could hear Rhonda's voice saying it. I it was her. So, but it was good. Well, we're past our time, Angela. We had to announce our finalists for the Black Authors Matter TV Awards for 2026. And so we appreciate having you on the show. You really got us involved in the discussion. It was supposed to be about you, and it ended up being about just books. Just
Yeah,
well,
you were fun, Angela.
mhm.
We have to do this again sometime. I'm gonna have to.
Yes, I would love to come and hang out with you guys and talk about books. And thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself tonight.
Well, you're welcome. We enjoyed having you.
All right, bye-bye.
Uh,
Okay, bye bye.